So we're apparently a few meters away, according to our producer, Lucky, to meet Mark Darren. I don't want to meet him.
I know why. Manchester City fan?
Absolutely.
Won the title, he's going to be happy. You're a Man United fan, not so happy. But I'm looking forward to meeting this guy to see how happy he is, what he's thought of the season, and obviously what goes on in the future for City, you know?
You know, and I know, we're standing on the edge of mystery. If you jump, and I jump, if that's the only way to set us free.
Champions 2017.
So we've got the champions in the house.
Thank you very much.
Mark Darren.
Come on, you Blues!
Well, we'll bite into it. Who would be your PFA choice of the year?
Silva, hands down Silva. He's been pivotal, consistent all throughout 8 seasons as a City supporter, City player. He's been clearly the underdog, underrated.
You said 8 seasons, best supporter. Is it you PFA choice of the year?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's been clearly underrated. I've never been in the PFA team for 8 seasons, but clearly with Pep Guardiola's style of play, he's really outshined. And with whatever the personal issues that he had this season, he's really been consistent, providing wherever he can. Well, there's no real position that he's in. He's just all over, but contributing wherever he can on the midfield.
Ahead of De Bruyne?
It's his best return rate as well, isn't it, this season under Pep? So that was the question that I put was the amount of assists, the amount of style of play, lack of goals. Yeah, but he's gone on to a new level this season. He's always my first pick in my fantasy league team.
So ahead of De Bruyne.
De Bruyne, I think is absolutely fantastic. I really like the way he's played. But I'm a big fan of Silva as well, David Silva. I've got to agree.
De Bruyne has had some wow moments this season, but he hasn't been consistent in all the games. But Silva, whenever he's there, and I'd just like to put a special mention out there. The other unsung hero is Fernandinho. The play between Silva and Fernandinho as a defensive meet towards passing the balls to De Bruyne and Silva.
He's only missed 2 games this season, correct?
He's only missed 2 seasons. Collectively, in the last, 5 seasons he's been at City, he's missed probably a handful of games. So
it's funny, you know, Mark, the number 6 position, I had a guy called David Batty at Leeds United. Was always the unsung hero, but for me, the best player in our team. Never got the credit.
Right.
Me, Harry Kewell, Mark Viduka got all the credit. And it's again, Fernandinho, that position just seems to be...
just like Busquets, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He's like the dad of all the midfields, you know, just standing there, let the kids play in the front.
It's been fantastic really from a fan's perspective to have this. I mean, we both are having our badges, and we were just having this chat, and he was just doing his W shape. How do you play out from the back? And the pivotal person, it's not the strikers, not the midfielders, the number 6. He doesn't work. That just don't work for Pep. That's how good. So good pick up. But no mention about Sonny at all.
Well, Sonny, I mean, he's still growing. He's a young kid still. I don't think he's really contributed a lot when it comes to the holistic way of how the wingers are pushing the game forward. I think if you do a comparison between Sonny and Sterling, or Sonny and Bernardo Silva, I think, Sonny takes a notch higher between the both of them.
Could Sonny be in for the Young Player of the Year award? Is that correct?
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there.
He's been there. Harry Kane as well also. So
that's right,
Yeah, the boys have got plenty of time. And they're the City players, but I still think there's only, you know, I don't mean to upset, you've already won the league. I still think Mo Salah, for what he has done, will be the guy that will pick the award up because of what he's achieved single-handedly. But I'm a big fan of Silva, so I've got to agree with you.
Yeah, I would go with Mo Salah for the season. The fact that how he's actually made Liverpool's season with the goals. If you minus his goals, but they won't be where they are. Just coming back to, we're coming to that very twilight end of the season. Players, we'll go straight to you. Something that you wanted to kind of ask him about. The fact that, do you complain? I mean, you were involved in the Champions League. You got the league, the FA Cup, and then the League Cup then. Do players actually complain, especially during the Christmas period?
Do you know what games you guys play?
It's phenomenal, the amount of games. So when I was in the Championship with Sunderland, you know, the games, you do play a midweek game every now and again, you know, because there's a lot more games in the Championship than the Premier League. and you get used to having a midweek game, and then the cup competitions. It's phenomenal. But once you embrace it, it's great because it is culture, it's history, and the fans really enjoy it, and it's a great money marketing campaign.
Do you think the winter break is necessary for English football?
Not for me, because it's history, it's culture, it's the thing that I grew up loving.
So it's something like for the fans, really.
It's for the fans, and the players. I mean, the size of the squads now.
So you don't believe in the fact that it affects, especially in a World Cup year, an England national team?
Oh, I mean, that's a great argument, Stanley. That is a big argument, and that is a thing that could have affected a lot of the England teams in the past, or there could have just been really bad performances by England in a World Cup. We all seem to, and it's a big question mark.
Because of how successful Germany has been.
But a lot of the best players in the world are playing outside of their playing the Premier League, and they managed to succeed for their national teams as well. So there is that thing, but from me personally, it's something that has been in the culture of the English game for so many years, and that is the great thing about the fans, because there's so much money generated for the Premier League through that period of time over Christmas.
And do you agree with him, or you think there's a winter break?
Well, I mean, England is the only country where there's no winter break, right?
Yeah, the football goes on right throughout Christmas. Yeah.
So I think, when we look at a good, healthy squad, really, rotations, the recovery periods are a lot lesser. So I think, maybe it's fair for the club to actually cater to this demand, probably.
That's why the squads are so big now.
It's so big, the investment is necessary to build a squad.
Then there's another question here. How big is the World Cup? How important it is the fact that club football these days takes priority with the money involved,
and the clubs
the broadcasting that is involved.
The clubs will not understand anything. The clubs they don't really care about the World Cup. The club Manchester City is a brand. It's not. It's a brand. It's Manchester City. They will not care how many players are playing for their national team. It's about the City brand. They win the Premier League. We want to win the Premier League every year. The World Cup's every 4 years. It's great for the players. It's great for that nation. But the clubs don't care.
And we three of us here must agree the fact that if you compare to the years when you started playing football, the nationalism, the patriotic part of it is really going out of the game, because you get someone like Oscar who's playing in China. He said, I'd rather play in a league where it pays me a lot than play for the national team or play in the World Cup. And that would have not been said from a player 20 years ago for Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the. Yeah, it's hard to even hear that. You know what I mean? I mean, all I want to do
because you want to wear that jersey.
All I want to do as a kid,
to get that England
dream of playing for England and winning the World Cup.
Absolutely.
And if you don't achieve that, your next dream is win the FA Cup, Champions League, things like that. You have targets and goals, and to wear the national badge. I mean, I used to cry when I sung the national anthem at youth level.
Absolutely.
Well, then again, Oscar's last 2 games in the last World Cup wasn't something that you wanted to remember for.
He probably 7-1,
3-0.
And I think you have another side, despite being the champions of England for this year. It's about the tactics that Pep plays against the big side.
Yeah. Whenever it comes to big teams, right now against Liverpool, for example, in the quarterfinals, the tactics was completely different than his usual formation in the Premier League games, or even in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. The usual formation is pulling all the fullbacks forward, allowing the wingers to take the wide range. But against Liverpool, he put Kyle Walker to play in the wide range, leaving the side gaps where Mo Salah and Firmino and Mane, they are speedsters. They will really pull you
utilize
down.
the space that's given to them.
So there were so many gaps between Laporte, Company and Otamendi, and until today it's still confusing as to why Pep Guardiola would take this risk, especially those really big
You would have
games.
analysed that, because I analysed it very much.
It was the same thing in the second half against United as well.
When Klopp had the upper hand against him in Germany, also tactically. Pep's trying to find a solution because he's a genius. I mean, if you watch his press conferences, everything is methodical. He thinks about everything.
Agreed,
and he still hasn't found a way to get one over on Klopp.
I only concede for one reason. Just comparing to any Premier League side, what Klopp had is the disposal in the attacking side is on off the ball. The speedsters can also press as quickly as they are with the ball.
Right. Yeah.
So putting Kyle Walker up is putting numbers in the opposition half, and allowing Klopp to worry, which he didn't.
And pull back the midfield.
Which he did not. He went out with the same plan. He did not change.
That's right.
But it's almost like Pep saying, let me put more numbers and see whether Klopp worries about it. But it worked against him.
So So that's the thing. I call it a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
If you're going to push your full-backs high and wide, it's expecting your wing-backs to drop, okay?
Yeah. That's right.
Mo Salah then Klopp went, hang on a minute. stay high, because if we get it, we're going to counter so quickly.
There are going to be some gaps there. Yeah.
So Kyle Walker's now thinking, it's brilliant for football, and that is why the best managers in the world get paid the best money, because they've got this battle, and you've got to really dig deep to understand why it goes on at times.
And I just think Guardiola's tactics this season has been impressive, really. I mean, we are seeing Man City playing one of the best footballs ever, and I think one of the key investments that he made before the season began was on the fullbacks, because that was critical. Pushing those fullbacks forward, getting the possessions, having those inverted fullbacks between the wingers to go forward, to keep those midfields high. I think we've never seen anything like that before.
Well, the one for me was Edison.
Yeah, Edison.
It's almost like having, we were talking Ronald Koeman, Cruyff, or a central midfielder playing in your goalkeeping position. His distribution is amazing, and Pep got that spot on.
And with so much positives, we put you on a hot spot before we end this bit. Can Man City retain the title next season?
Only a Man U fan would ask that.
I know, I'm spoiling your party for this season, but yeah.
Okay,
yes or no?
Yes. I have absolute confidence that, well, honestly, we thought this season was going to be our season. At one point we were at the quadruple, and then we thought, okay, let's just focus on the Champions League. But I'm 100% confident that next season it's going to be our season still.
I think Man City are going to dominate for the next 4, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And if you're looking at the investments that's already in play, we might look at Isco and Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk. I think these two individuals might add
honestly,
on
I think it's beyond that as well. I think what they do behind the scenes, besides the player that you see on the pitch, it's acquiring the right people. Patrick Vieira should be working for Arsenal Football Club, but he works for Man City. Thank you, Mark Barron.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Good luck.
And well done.
Yeah.
You're going to have many.
Come on, City.
This smile is going to last a long time, because City are going to dominate.
Yeah.
Cheerful,
very happy man.
Yeah, but he's very knowledgeable, because the bit, again, I like to find the bits. The bits is like we were talking about, you were just showing me about the build-up play from the back, and he speaks about Fernandinho.
The unsung hero.
Yeah, but he understands, he gets it, how pivotal it is.
And again, that's why you got to respect the Malaysian fans. Yeah. They're not just fans for being fans, they're fans that appreciate football as well and understand football, and that's, he knew his stuff. I was really surprised what he said about Fernandinho, the question that he asked about why Pep can't beat Klopp, why did he change his tactics, and that was nice to give our opinion towards him, to say, well, why, because he hasn't been able to do it in the past.
But they're so detailed, they see these things.
Absolutely brilliant, and he's going to be smiling for a long time, because like we said, success.
Yeah. And the amount of things that's happening behind the scenes. I mean, you're a big fan of how Arteta's been given the power. It's very empowering. I mean, you've been an assistant coach. When head coaches give you that little bit of responsibility, and you want to try and prepare the team towards what he wants on the weekend. And these little things are going to be the reason of their success, and not the success of temporary, but for a long term.
For a long time.